Hey, everybody, we are live on the Overland Podcast. It's been a long time since we've done this.
Yeah, buddy.
And
Yeah. Did you frozen?
am I
What's going
frozen
on? No,
already?
there you are. It looked like you were for a second. You were.
Oh, no, I was. We haven't done this in a while. And
Yeah.
so I figured we would go live on Instagram as well. So I've got us live on Instagram because I figured there's a bunch of people at home not doing nothing,
Yeah.
probably flipping through the gram. And
Yeah.
I figured we would go live on Instagram anyway.
Heck yeah.
Because it's been. How long has it been since just been me and you? May.
May.
It was May.
Early May, right?
Yeah. In fact, I gotta remember how to do all this because my wife's on here. Hey, babe, thanks for joining us. She's
Hey,
probably
Tia.
on the front porch with PJ because PJ has gone plumb freaking nuts and wouldn't come in the house a while ago. And so I just slammed the door in her face and left her out there. And so she's probably out there with her.
I thought it was just
It's
my
really
dog
nice outside.
Yeah. I thought it was just my dog that refused to come in, but
she's gone full blown idiot. But whatever. It's like having another kid.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I describe it.
Well, I can't blame her. I mean, the weather is so nice right now compared to what we've had the last few weeks.
I don't know if I've ever heard the term false fall. Have you heard that term before?
Uh-huh.
Well, we're still in August.
Yeah.
In Arkansas. Last week it was in almost 100.
Yeah.
Today it was a high of 70 something. And the last 2 days, like yesterday afternoon when I got home from work, and today when I got home from work, I went out on the front porch, shorts and a t-shirt. I was almost cold.
Yeah.
And it's like my favorite time of the year because it's right in between where you've got to decide. Well, I have to decide between shorts and long pants. You probably don't.
No.
But
no.
Almost like a cover up, like a hoodie type weather or something. I love hoodie weather. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait.
So you probably like the t-shirt thickness hoodie.
I like the thin ones. Yeah.
A thin hoodie. Yeah.
Oh, when we backpack, we've got what they call sun hoodies, and they're real thin, moisture wicking sun hoodies, but they're long sleeve. And so they keep you from getting sunburned. But I love wearing long sleeves when we're backpacking because bugs and spider webs and all that, you don't feel that on your skin.
Yeah.
It's but I've gotten so used to wearing long sleeves. I love wearing long sleeves now. I used to hate it.
Yeah.
Used to never wear long sleeves. And in fact, I've used to never had a heater in my office. I got a heater in my office now. But my goodness, I love this weather. It's just, and it's going to go away. I mean, it's going to go away in 3 or 4 days, but
yeah. So it almost reminds me of like last year, when we went to Overland of America last year, it was warm enough to get in the pool.
It was hot.
Said, I know. But they said the week before at their lifted truck nationals, everybody was wearing hoodies.
Yeah. We missed it by a week.
Yeah. And it seems like we're almost in that same stretch.
Close.
I mean, because we got Overland of America coming up here in a couple weeks, right?
Next month, yeah. Well, I remember last year when we were there, I took PJ up with me and my wife came up later. And when PJ was there, she was digging holes up underneath your Jeep so she could lay in the cold dirt because it was so warm. Now, the nights were cool and I slept like a baby, but during the day, man, we stayed under that shade. We had, it was probably the first time we've ever had a booth absolutely perfect because we did our vehicles like butt to butt and did our awnings out together and we made a humongous shade and it was so nice. But I had the fans out.
Yeah,
I had the fans out every day because middle of the day it was hot.
Yeah. Now are you bringing the Subaru again this year? Are you bringing little girl?
Yeah, FJ's coming.
Yeah, right on.
Well, last year was when I was having issues with it, and so I think I've got those.
Careful.
Fingers crossed. My goodness. Chase has really helped me out with that and got the FJ going. It's so nice to have a vehicle. I'm not really 100% because it was one of those things. And having a Jeep, you probably go through this all the time, but I don't deal with it much having
I
2 of them.
haven't,
But
not since last week.
right, but you have something wrong and you don't know what it is, and there's nothing that will come across the reader
Yeah,
that
the
will tell
code
you,
reader.
okay, this is what it is, and you just have to guess what it is. And that was one of those things, and I just happened to call him and say, I think it may be the fuel pump. It was just a premonition I had. I was just like, whoa, it could be the fuel pump, because I thought it was electrical the whole time. But I called him and said, I think it may be the fuel pump. And it's got 230,000 miles. So if it's not the fuel pump, it probably needs one anyway. So go ahead and put one in it.
Yep.
He put one in it and he said, I think it's fixed. And haven't had an issue with it yet, other than it's sitting there all the time, the battery running down. But
yeah, it's got a bunch of cobwebs in it now.
We got in there. We had to go help my dad do something, hook up to a trailer. We got in there the other day. There was cobwebs everywhere inside on the inside. And so here's the deal. So I've got those little things over the windows, and I keep my windows cracked. But when the yard gets mowed and they blow, it blows grass all in there, because they blow the vehicles to make sure there's not grass on the vehicles. Because, I rent a place. We don't own our place. And they mow the yard for us. And so when they blow it, they don't want grass all over the vehicles. So they blow the vehicles. When they do that, it blows grass all in there.
Right in the window.
All in there. So, I just got to go in there and dig all the cobwebs out and the grass. It'd drive you insane.
I couldn't hack that.
But it sits out in the heat, and I don't want stuff to crack and, all that mess. So,
well, I mean, like Arliss had the doors and stuff off of her Jeep, and so we're in and out of the garage all the time, vehicles. And so whenever I mow, my process is I typically start in the garage and blow the garage out in the driveway and then blow the driveway off.
Yeah.
Well, if she's had her top and doors off all summer, so I can't blow the garage, right? Because then we get all kinds of junk in the Jeep. Anyway, it's a thing.
It is a thing that you have to deal with, but it's one of those things.
Yeah.
I miss driving it a lot, because I used to take it everywhere. And but so
I can't even remember the last time I saw it.
I had it at Rendezvous last year. I had it. Oh, we took it to Jasper Jeep Jam. We stayed in Jasper Jeep Jam, and that was in April. Yeah.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's right.
We got there the night that the big storm came in.
Yeah, the tornado about wiped everybody out.
Ooh, man, that was kind of scary.
That weekend was hard on the Rhino Rack awnings.
It was. It was.
I think there was 4 that died that weekend.
Well, it's funny that they make them to break, and they do that.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Look who's on here.
Scott
with 1 T. Scott T.
Juby.
Yeah, I should miss driving it. That's right, Scott. I should. But when you don't trust a vehicle, and Scott's not used to this because he's got new vehicles all the time, except for that Jeep he's got tucked back in his shop somewhere. But when you've got a vehicle that you don't trust, and you go on long trips, I've trusted it to go anywhere in Arkansas, and I'm going to take it to Overland of America, which is in Oklahoma. I'll take it there. But to take it on a 9,000-mile trip like we did this summer, no. No.
You're not ready for that?
I don't trust it. It's old. It is like, it's like taking your grandma on a trip. It's going to be a lot of work. And when you've got a new vehicle sitting there that nothing's going to go wrong, it's a pretty easy decision.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, I do miss driving.
Especially, with that factor and then the fuel mileage factor.
So, fuel mileage was a big deal when it gets 9 miles a gallon and the other one gets 22, 23.
Oh yeah.
It hadn't got 22 miles a gallon since me and Porker were coming back from Colorado going downhill with a 40-mile-an-hour wind at our back in Kansas. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Now hold on.
Never did this before.
Downhill in Kansas, really?
When you're coming from Colorado to Kansas.
Oh, okay. I guess it is
gradual. It's gradual.
It's gradual.
Gradual.
I don't know. I must not be living right or something, because I've fought the wind going to Denver, and then I fought the wind coming from Denver.
And normally that's
it turned around with it. Yeah, it was not.
Our vehicles are not aerodynamic. They're not. They're not it.
Right.
When we put the rooftop tent on the Subaru, it took 5 miles a gallon from it, just the tent. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So. But anyway, summer was good. I know you spent a lot of summer in the heat, you spent a lot of it in the air conditioner.
Yeah, I didn't do much this summer. Working and stuff. I started a new job, still working from home, but started a new job. That's always a good thing to kind of get worked in and get going and staying indoors working when it's hot like this. So
yeah,
didn't really do a whole lot. Went camping last weekend.
Yeah. You went to what was that called? It's called the melt your face off, melt your face off.
Yeah.
It's called a bonfire, August bonfire rendezvous or something.
Yeah, no,
can't remember what that thing's called. I kidded the Natural State guys last week. They're just determined to have a bonfire in the summer. Sycamore heat wave. That's it.
Sycamore heat wave 2025.
Is that a sticker you got there?
That is a sticker.
Okay, that's a big old sticker.
It is.
That'll wrap all the way around your Stanley Cup. Gosh, you got a bunch of them. You must have saved me one.
Stickers, yes. Yep, I got those. And then I got me a Camp Local sticker to go with my Camp Local t-shirt from
Camp Local. What's that all about?
So that's the River Ranch Resort. That's kind of their their little slogan.
Noel, Missouri.
Noel, Missouri. They got a nice little spot up there on the river. Beautiful spot. I mean, several little areas. The property that they own kind of scattered around the river right there, and so it was
you posted a picture of your rig wherever you stopped to camp, and it was beautiful, sitting there amongst the trees, nice flat spot, real open. I love spots like that are cleared out real well.
Yeah.
So you don't have any underbrush. You don't have to worry about snakes or bugs or anything like that.
No,
so it was nice looking spot.
Yeah, it was well maintained, and they actually have several spots. Just kind of like, they have like the main route through the area, but they have like little loops that go out, and there's little campsites. A string of campsites here and some over here, and then they got their big beach. Where they rent canoes and rafts and kayaks and all that kind of stuff. But
that's cool.
It was very nice up in the trees, cooled off at night. I took my air conditioner and didn't even need it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah. So I got my shirt on, and thought I'd share my drip with you. You like my hat?
I do like your hat. We had talked before we went on the air about how really nicely color coordinated you are. You've got your blue, your blues going really well.
Yeah.
For those who are listening and not watching, Tony is really honed in on the attire. I'm kind of drab with the browns and the blacks, and man, you've got the blues going on.
I'm just switching it up.
Where's your hat from? What's your
hat? My buddy Cajun Kai and his good wife, Buffalo River Gypsy, Lisa, from Jasper Jeep Jam, when they went on their big trip this summer, they brought me back a hat.
Where's it from?
This hat from the
Rocky Mountain National Park.
Rocky Mountain National Park.
How did I guess that? I wonder.
Yeah,
because I cannot see the little leather tag on there. You showed it to me before.
There it is.
Do you remember when you and I and Porker went to Rocky National Park for about 20 minutes?
We were there for a brief period of time.
Yeah, because you know why? Because it was freaking cold and the whole place was still snowed in, and so we couldn't even get in. We got a good picture at the
but we
sign.
we had to get the picture and we had to get the stamp.
Had to get the stamp, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all about them stamps. I love them stamps. We collected a lot of stamps this summer.
Yeah, I mean, so you both have hit all 50 states now,
I
right?
have not. I have not. She has. I have not
Okay.
been to Hawaii. So I've got to get to Hawaii somehow, some way. May have to swim. But yeah, she's been to Hawaii. That was her last one. North Dakota was her last state, and that's pretty cool because we had interviewed somebody on the podcast, and they said North Dakota's kind of really taken it under their wing, and they really adopted the fact that there's nothing there, and that people always save that to last. And so if you go to the Welcome Center, they have a big thing that you stand in front of that says save the best to last, and you get a free t-shirt, and they give you a certificate, and they sign it and date it and all that stuff, and it says save the best to last. North Dakota got all 50 states, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
So
I can attest to that. We lived there when I was a sophomore in high school, and it is not pleasant in the
I
wintertime.
tell you what they have, and
Mm-mm.
what they have a lot of,
It's
wind.
flat and
A
wind. Yep.
lot of stinking cold wind.
I'm telling you, the Christmas Day the year we were there, the wind chill was minus 50. Not 1.5, 50, minus 50 degrees.
I've never
So cold.
experienced anything like that before. That's
Mm-hmm.
almost like your blood freezes inside your body.
Yeah.
But that's
Anyway.
pretty cool. Yeah. But that was that was not the highlight of the trip. That was just trying to get from one place to another.
Yeah.
We started out May 28th, and we went to Rogers, stayed the night, just to get a head start on Friday. Saturday, I drove from Rogers to Denver, and we stayed at the KOA that you and I had stayed in before, and almost in the exact same little hut thing.
Yeah.
And
that was good times.
The second day I drove all the way to the Grand Tetons, and so it was just a two-day trip all the way to the Tetons. That was a long couple days. But once you get to Denver, you start seeing really cool scenery, and so it made the trip a lot better. Driving across Kansas is not that great. I don't know if you've been there. You may be from Kansas like Galen. You may love Kansas, but there's not really a lot to see. It's just a lot of farmland, and there's no trees. There's just not a lot to see. And normally you have about a 40-mile-an-hour wind in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, it was just a driving day. I listened to a book. We talked. We played radio chatter game.
Yeah, I was gonna
Anything we
say.
could to pass the time.
Yeah.
And made it to Denver by that afternoon. Found a great little Mexican joint, hole in the wall Mexican joint, and got to eat there and slept. Got up early the next morning, beat rush hour traffic through Denver, and once you get into Denver, there's the Rockies, and so we went up a little ways north and then turned west, went over the Rockies, and then into Wyoming, and it was a beautiful drive. But the problem with eastern Wyoming is it's a lot of private land.
Yeah.
And so finding a place to stop and like have a picnic, or even if you want to camp, it's tough because it's all private land. It's humongous ranches is what it is. And so what we did, I just got tired of looking for a place. And so we pulled in, went through a gate. I yelled really loud, "Can we have a picnic here?" Nobody said no. So we just opened up the tailgate, had a picnic. The antelope walked right by where we were standing.
Wow.
And, we had the mountains in the background. It's beautiful. So we just had a little picnic there. That's kind of what we do. And I would highly recommend, especially if you have a refrigerator in your vehicle, don't pack. And when we first started overlanding, we would make this mistake of thinking that we had to carry all of the food that we would need when we first started out. Well, I don't make that mistake anymore. I pack it about half full, but we stop along the way and buy local food. So we would buy,
Mm-hmm.
things along the way, and we buy cheese, meat, whatever, that you want to get. There's always a place to stop, and there's a lot of times when you get out west, you're going to stop at these little mom and pop gas stations that have amazing coffee, amazing, homemade some kind of meat,
Chicharrones or something.
chicharrones. Oh my gosh, chicharrones. And so don't pack your fridge full. Leave room for local foods. And we would pick up local foods. So we stopped and had a picnic. And then we made it into the Tetons that evening. Now this was not planned. This was not planned. So on these trips that we take that are really lengthy, we make almost no reservations whatsoever. But going to the Tetons, that's a popular place. And so we decided we might need to look for a campsite near the Tetons. Now, there is national forest just north and east of the Tetons. So when you come in from the north going into the Tetons, you'll see a forest road that says so and so National Forest. I can't remember what the name of it is, but you can drive up there, and there are places that you can camp for free. Go out in there and find a place. But we went ahead and reserved a campsite. Now they're expensive. It has no showers, has bathroom. That's pretty much it. Great
Like
views.
a pit toilet or something.
Pit toilet. No,
Yeah.
it actually had real toilets. It
Real
had real
toilets.
toilets, sinks,
Wow.
running water. They had filtered water that you could fill up all your water stuff, that was good
Yeah.
because we were doing some hiking while we were there. But it was like $60 a night, so we stayed 2 nights there. I think it was 2 nights, and we got it was just a place that you pull in, pop up the rooftop tent, no electricity, no nothing. And it was nice because they make people turn the generators off at a certain time, so you don't have to listen to those all night.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed there, did some amazing hikes. Oh my gosh, we went to these couple lakes, and just every bend that you walked around, it was just majestic views. Had an elk run right across the front of us. I got to watch antelope and deer chase each other, and one thought one was just like they were, and it was not. And when they met up, they were like, "Oh, this is not like me," and then they all went in different directions. We got to see
And
all
this was
kinds of stuff.
before you got to the Grand Tetons?
This was
Or
at the
this
Tetons.
at the time?
This
Okay.
was at the Tetons. When we pulled down into the Tetons, there were bison everywhere. On the
Yeah.
left, people were pulled over taking pictures. We got to see bald eagles. But the problem is around this place called Jenny Lake. It's the most popular place there. It's so packed that we tried to get out and do some stuff there, and there were just so many people that we were like, we're going to go and do something that's a little less popular. So we got up at like 4:30 in the morning, went to this trailhead by 5 o'clock in the morning. We were the second or third ones at the trailhead. And by the time we got back, it was like a 4-hour hike. We stopped several times. And I mean, this is June. We had on long pants, long shirts, sun hoodies, jackets, and we were walking carrying our stuff. So, I mean, it was nice
Yeah.
outside, like really nice.
Yeah.
And when we got back to the car 4 hours later, there were people, the parking lot was full. They were lined up down the road. There was probably 90 cars there. And I thought, okay, I don't want to give away my best tip for national parks, but if you want to do anything in a national park, you better get up early, because people that have kids, they don't get up early. They get up, they cook breakfast, get the kids up. By 9 o'clock, they're somewhere. So by 10 o'clock, everything's just packed. And so it was beautiful. I had never
By
been there.
By 10 o'clock, you better be halfway done with your hike.
Yeah, exactly. And
Wow.
yeah. So I mean, it was absolutely incredibly beautiful. We loved it. I'd never been there. G had been there. She wanted me to see the Tetons, and that was pretty special. It was so beautiful. I'd never seen mountains quite like that before.
I feel like that's gonna. I've never been there, but I feel like that's gonna be, the Tetons, Montana and Idaho. Maybe that a loop right there might be a good trip.
That's a great trip. That's a great trip. We hit Idaho the next day. Went down. We traveled across it. We didn't really hit a lot of things that were there, but we saw a lot of beautiful things that were there. But then we hit it on the way back. So we were doing a big loop, like going to Oregon, going up to Washington, and then coming back. So we hit the little top of it, but didn't get a lot of Idaho. I need to go back. I want to go back to Idaho. It was incredible. But going across there, going to Oregon, we went to Crater Lake, which was beautiful. We didn't get to see a lot of it. I didn't know this, but Crater Lake gets more snow than any other national park that we have. And so when we were there, again, it's June. The road was still closed that goes around Crater Lake, and the snow was up to the roofs on the visitor center and all that. They just plowed a little bit for people to get through there. And so we were able to go up to the top to overlook it, but we were walking across snow that was 3 or 4 foot deep just to get out there to be able to see it. But once again, finding the best place for a picnic, we drove around and backed right up to the overlook, and we were eating lunch overlooking the snow-covered lake. So it was again, I took a bunch of pictures, videos, not even close. I mean, not even close to how beautiful it was.
Yeah.
The road out there, we drove through a tree. I mean, the trees. And I don't remember getting to a certain age where I appreciate things like this, like how big the trees were and how big around and how tall and straight and how beautiful they were. They were just majestic. But it's also a place where you need to be very conscientious about how much gas you have and if you can make it to the next gas station. Mm-hmm. Because this is the first place we almost ran out of gas.
Yeah.
And so we had to drive 50 miles into the entrance, go up, and then we had to drive 50 miles back. And I got to see the Pacific Crest Trail for the first time. I'd never seen it, one of the big three. I had to walk across again about 3 foot of snow to get to the sign to take a picture of the sign. Nobody was on the PCT at that time. There's no way that they could have walked through it. But anyway, I got a picture of the sign, drove all the way back, found one place that was at a marina to get gas. It was $8 a gallon. It was 8 something a gallon. And in Oregon, they still pump your gas for you. And they won't let you pump your own gas. A lot of places won't let you pump your own gas. And there's signs out there that say last gas for 100 miles, last gas for 120 miles. So be prepared. I did have my mini roto packs with me, my cute little roto packs that you make fun of. I did have that. I need to get a bigger one so I can be with the cool kids. But it was one of those times where I wanted it for peace of mind, but never had to use it. Yeah. Never had to use it. So I filled it up the very first place we went in Oregon. I said, I don't want to go ahead and fill this up because we're going to be long stretches, because I have never in my life been anywhere like I've been to in Oregon. Oregon was one national forest after another, after another, after another, after another. About every 10 miles, it was a new national forest. There was it was like 10 of them.
Really?
National forest after national forest after national forest. And you're just driving through national forest, just one right after another, after another, after another. And all of these national forests have national forest campgrounds that you can stop in. And so we camped in one and went up and stayed in a KOA. And when we stayed in this KOA, that's the very first time I've ever got to experience pizza delivery at a campground. We talked about that, the other night when we talked with Natural State, because where you went, you can get pizza delivered to your campsite.
Yeah.
And I'd never done that before, because when we got back from Crater Lake, there's no places out there like, there's no McDonald's, there's no Arby's, there's no Popeye's chicken, there's nothing like that. And so whatever you take, that's what you're going to eat, unless you find a little restaurant or something like that. And they're really few and far between. So we're like, oh, we'll just go back to the campground. We'll just get a pizza. I said, I'm cool with that, And so we get back to the campground. We're like, we're going to order a pizza. And they say, okay, what you want? And so we told them, and they say, just going back to your campsite. We'll bring it to you. And I said, what? That's a thing? I didn't know that was a thing. So.
Oh, that's so nice. The places that do that, I've never been any place that did that up until this last weekend at River Ranch Resort.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned something about that. They have a really good ribeye dinner, amazing ribeye dinner. Their loaded potato salad is amazing.
Oh.
But they said, we don't usually deliver, but if you want that, we'll bring the ribeye dinner as well. So I had ribeye dinner on Friday night. They brought it to my campsite.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Really?
And then we planned on I planned on having pizza Saturday night, but we ended up doing like a impromptu, like little potluck kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And Rick made these ribs that were amazing. The Jennifer, the lady at camp next to me, she cooked up a bunch of chicken. I got out all my salad stuff. I mean, it was just, anyway, man, the whole delivery thing was really cool.
Yeah, you like kings.
Yeah.
So when you camp in the hot weather like that, how big of a factor is it for you whether you're going to cook or not?
Well, I mean, it's a pretty big factor.
It is for me too. Slaving over a hot stove is a real thing.
Yeah, I usually, actually, the only thing I cooked this weekend was kind of like some ramen. Really, that's all I cooked. Ramen and coffee.
I love ramen.
Yeah.
Do you remember when ramen first came out? And this is a total sidebar right here.
Yeah.
I remember when ramen first came out.
I lived on it when I
was in college.
When I moved out. Yeah. Yeah. When I moved into my first apartment, I spent like $4 for 28 of them or something in the big box.
Yeah.
Yeah. However many was in there.
I was working for this place back before Lowe's and Home Depot and all this. We had this place in our town called Crate Deals. And I was working for this place called Crate Deals. And it was one of these places that sold things, it was a box store. So they just cut open the box and just put it on the shelf and you just grabbed it out of the box. It was nothing fancy about it whatsoever. My kind of place.
Yeah. And
they brought in these pallets of this stuff, and it was hard and crunchy, and it said, you couldn't read it because it was a foreign language. But and they showed you how to cook it. Well, somebody brought some. They had bought some. Well, they were like 10 cents a pack.
Yeah.
And I thought, 10 cents a pack for a whole meal? 10 cents for a whole meal? Are you kidding me? And somebody brought some. And I tried it, and I'm like, I am a poor college student, and you're telling me that I can live on 10 cents a meal? I'm sold. So
yeah.
Anyway, that was
this stuff I had last weekend was, I mean, we keep some of that ramen that you're talking about because my daughter loves it, and she'll make it and doctor it up and do all this stuff. But she had this other stuff. It's in a little bit bigger package, in like this pink package.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the same stuff. The noodles are slightly different, and it's just more of it. But it is really good. I usually cook up some chicken tenders.
Yeah. Was it Momofoco's? Was it Momofoco's? You ever had Momofoco's?
I don't know.
Fancy noodles.
I know what's in the package. I don't even bother trying to read it because it's
like fancy ramen. White
Yeah.
collar. It's like
Yeah.
white collar. It's good. Yeah. Whatever.
It's
Anyway.
got these anime characters on there playing jujitsu or with Fruit Ninja or something.
Fruit
I don't
Ninja.
know. Yeah.
Oh
Anyway,
my goodness. Did you see Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got engaged? Do they?
I heard a rumor. Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. Well, hey, congrats to them. Anyway, so we were. That's how my mind works. That's how my
Yeah. I
mind
was
works
like,
right now.
how do you go from ramen to?
Well, it's these rabbits. These rabbits
Yeah.
run through my mind.
Yeah.
But in the summer, cooking, and I made the mistake several years ago of going out and camping and only taking stuff that I had to cook. And it was
Mm-hmm.
so hot in the middle of the day. I think I drove 15 miles to buy a sandwich
Yeah.
at a place just so I wouldn't have to cook. And
I think I was on that trip.
you were on that trip. And I split off
Didn't
from
we?
you and I went to the Buffalo and camped one more night. That was when I had the tent that wouldn't stay up. And I had to prop it, that stupid
Okay.
thing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to the Buffalo and stayed one more night by myself. But yeah, we were together. But all I had
Was
was
it?
food that I had to
Was
cook.
it the sandwich you got? Was it at Turner Bend, or was
Uh,
it some other place?
it was a what's that town starts with a P? Right, right above the Buffalo. It's not Piglet. It's a. I can't remember.
I don't
It's
know.
right above Marshall. We were
Maybe
camped
Scott
up
will tell us.
there. We were camped up there. It was probably somewhere. Either with Scott up on that river or up around Artemis or somewhere, and I was on my way home and I stopped. But anyway, all I had was stuff to cook, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to cook in this 100-degree weather. I
Yeah.
don't want to get out and already be hot and turn my stove on that's even hotter,
Yeah.
and then not have a place to shower or anything like that, and try to go to bed. So anyway, I stopped and got a sandwich. But
I
anyway,
mean,
yeah,
it's nice if you
Pendle. Oh, my wife.
Pendle.
Look at my wife. She's the best.
Pendle. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that Pendle. That little store on the
Pendle.
side of 65. I thought it was Piglet. I was close. I got the
Yeah.
first 2 words, first 2 letters.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
yeah, stopped in there and had them make me a sandwich, and they saved the day. But anyway,
It's a big factor when it's hot, for sure.
so you've never been to Oregon?
No, I haven't been west of. Well, I mean, I've been a little bit into Arizona, and Colorado, but anything west of Colorado, north, just barely into Wyoming. So not been to Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Washington, California, Nevada, any of that over there.
This was my first time up there as well.
Yeah.
I'd never been west of. I've been to Utah a couple times 10, 15 years ago, but as far as north, I'd never been north. I've never been west of Colorado, South Dakota, up in the northwest. So when we got up to the Tetons, that was as far west in the north as I'd ever been. And so going across there was all new to me. It was all new. Everything changed. When you first get into eastern Oregon, it's it's desert, it's flat, it's all just like farmland, but there's nothing, not even trees. And then all of a sudden, boom, trees and national forest and one thing after another. So it was really all nice and neat. Thank you, Cajun Kai, for coming
Looky
on there. Tony's sporting your hat. We've already talked about y'all. So good to see you as well. Hope you're doing well. Wherever you are. If you're in the ocean or
he's out in the ocean.
In Jasper.
It's 8,000 feet deep where he's at.
Oh man, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Are you scared of deep water?
Not if I'm in a boat.
Really?
Yeah.
Like things like Jaws don't bother you?
Yeah. So a few years ago, this is off topic, but a few years ago,
everything that we've talked about is off topic. There is no topic.
So Arla and I and McKenna, we went in and rented a house with some friend of ours a buddy and his wife and their 3 daughters. We rented a house in Dauphin Island,
Yeah,
on
been there.
Dauphin Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it in my mind that I wanted to rent some crab traps while we were there. You know, we were going to
Mm-hmm.
do some crab boils, catch some blue crabs.
Mm-hmm.
So we when we checked in, the lady that we rented the house from, her son actually made traps. So we actually got traps from her. And the second day we were there, like midday, my buddy and I decide we're going to take these traps out. And we don't have a boat. We bait them,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then we wind up the lead with the 2 floats and the trap, and we start wading out, and we're going out, and the gravel or
Yeah.
the sandbars, they do this, they get shallow
Yeah.
and they get deep, and when you get out there, it gets real quiet.
Yeah.
And it gets creepy.
I know.
And that's when you realize that you should not be out there.
When you can't hear the waves anymore?
When you can't hear the waves on the beach, you're way too far out. You're so
Okay.
far out they can't hear you scream.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a
Okay.
mistake.
I've got a part 2 to that. I've got
Okay.
my part to that.
So
Okay.
yes, I'm scared.
Same.
Yeah.
There's a million things in this water that can eat you alive or kill you. And
Mhm.
so there's that.
And I'm carrying bait
Right. It's almost like you're
underwater with
inviting
me.
them, come to me,
Yeah.
because I've got stuff to eat. And then when you get done with that, you can eat me.
It was an uneventful week, and we had 3 great crab boils. I'll just finish it off
Well,
like that. It
hey,
worked out fine
happy
for
ending.
us.
Happy
Yes.
ending. Love it. Well, okay. So we get to Oregon. We go to Bend, spend some time with some friends. Bend is a beautiful, beautiful place. It's a very white collar, high end. It's almost just like Bentonville. It reminded me a lot of Bentonville. We saw more I saw more Sprinter vans in that one city than I've seen in my entire life put together.
Wow.
And everybody had bicycles. They had Sprinter vans, or if they had regular vehicles, they all had like a Yakima rocket box on
Yeah.
top of their vehicles, and it stayed there. And it stayed there year round.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like it. It's weird. It is really weird. But anyway, beautiful place. Left there, say 3 days there, left there and went to the Oregon coast. So the first time I'd been to the Pacific in a long, long, long time, and I'd never been seen the Pacific anywhere except from San Diego, California. And so we stayed at the Oregon Dunes one night, right on the coast. We camped there. Mosquitoes were worse there than I would have thought they would have been.
Yeah.
Out there, in Arkansas, the mosquitoes are big. They're kind of slow. They act kind of drunk. Out there, they're very small and they're very fast.
Yeah.
And so I burnt through some thermocells like crazy. It was the only way we could stay outside was thermocell. I carried it everywhere I went. And that's the only way we were able to eat outside and do some stuff. So we camped there. Then we started making our way up the coast, and I kid you not, I consider myself pretty well traveled. We've been to a lot of places. I've been to a lot of countries. Oregon coast is probably in my top 5 most beautiful places I've ever seen. All the way up the coast, it was just outrageous. The further north you went,
Really?
the cliffs, every place along Highway 1 that we were on was picturesque. So many places to pull over, take videos. There's lighthouses. And we stayed right on the coast 3 nights trying to make it up to Seattle to get on the boat to go to Alaska. But the thing that I did not know about the Oregon coast is that so when you go out on the beaches are extremely flat. Extremely flat. And so when the tide goes out, when the water goes out, it probably goes out, I'm going to say, the length of 5 or 6 football fields.
Oh, wow.
It goes forever out there. And so you can walk out there, and when you turn around and look and see how far you are, from the shore, from the actual shore, it makes this feeling come in you that if you're not from there and you're not used to it, which I'm not, and I'm not, it makes this feeling come in like, okay, the water could come in anytime and I would never make it back. Never make it back. We constantly, about every mile, we would pass a sign that said tsunami zone, which was, I've never been in a tsunami zone. I guess I've been in one in when I was in Philippines and Japan, but there weren't signs up that said it. But I mean, there's signs up
Well,
everywhere that said
they probably
tsunami zone.
were, but
Yeah, I
you just
couldn't read
couldn't read them.
them. But the coast was magnificent because of the humongous rocks and stuff that were in there. They were out in the water, and there was this haze that was. It would be sunny, but it would be hazy, and so it would just look like something, always something out of a horror movie that was like out over the water. It was so cool, beautiful, breathtaking. But highly recommend. I'm telling you, Oregon is just one national forest after another, after another, after another, and you can camp so many places. You could spend the rest of your life camping there every night and not hit the same place twice. It is outrageous, unreal, beautiful.
Really?
Oh, it's so nice. And there's all these forest roads that just go and go and go and go and go off every little turn. But one of the cool things about it was we started when we started down to the Oregon coast from, kind of central Oregon. We drove down a mountain for about 15 miles. And I'm talking at like 5% grade, 6% grade. My mileage went up on the Subaru to almost 50 miles a gallon because we went downhill for so long. I never hit the accelerator for 30 minutes. It was
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
It was so cool. I loved it. And the trees were so big, so tall. Just absolutely loved it. So making our
Coos
way,
Bay.
yeah.
How in the
Coos Bay.
world? It seems like I remember Scott telling me a
Yeah,
story at one time
he's
that
from
he
Oregon.
was born in Oregon, and I remember thinking, how does somebody, born outside the state end up in Berryville? Is that where he's at? Berryville?
That's where
Yeah,
he's at. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just like I don't know. I find that fascinating. How does somebody end up in Prairie Grove, Arkansas, or you know
I
what I
don't know.
mean? Like
Yeah.
from
So
what
David
happened?
Reasoner's on here. David, we got your O lights shining everywhere. That's what Tony's using to light the studio in there.
Yep.
So we appreciate you for
Yes,
supporting the
sir.
podcast always. But anyway, after we went through Oregon, we went up, got on a boat, went on a dream cruise through Alaska.
Yeah.
Highly
Yeah.
recommend it. I'd do it again tomorrow or
10
today.
out of
I'd
10
leave today.
recommend.
10 out
Yeah.
of 10 would recommend. Would poop there.
Wow.
But we didn't plan any excursions. We just got off and we're able to see the old towns. And I mean, these towns are old because you talk about, the gold mining that went on up there and everything, and the stories that were there. National Forest, Glacier Bay. The cool thing about Glacier Bay is the boat pulled up into this cove. We started seeing all these big piles of extremely blue ice go by the boat. Got to see whales. He went up in there and then he turned the boat 360 degrees. So you could stay in your room. And here in a minute, here come the glacier. And then he spun it back around and then we left. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
But yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend that. It was insane. Um, I highly recommend getting a balcony because you can open up, it never gets dark. So you can open up the blinds or the curtains or whatever, and you could be laying there in bed at midnight, which I was. I took a picture at midnight of some of the mountains and you could see them just clear as day and just watch the mountains go by. I mean, just snow covered mountains just constantly. It was beautiful. Oh, Scott, I'm in Green Forest, so he
Oh,
means
that's
you know
right.
where he's
That's
at.
right. Yeah.
Close, We hit it
I was
close.
close. I was close.
Yeah. But came back from there, went across Washington, got to see Mount St. Helens, which was pretty cool to me because, that erupted when we were kids. And I'd always remembered that. I never even knew that there was a volcano in the United States. But when you go out there, all the mountains are volcanoes, every single one of them. And I had no idea, but I got to see Mount St. Helens. That was incredible. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we came back across Idaho, Montana, went up to what's that national park up there that we went to?
Yellowstone?
No, it's even further in Montana.
In Montana?
Yeah, it's in Montana. My wife's gonna have to help me out with that one too. My voice is going out. I gotta get me a drink. Glacier National Park.
Glacier National Park. There you go.
I think it was a glacier. Yeah, Glacier. She just said that. Thanks, babe. Yeah. Boom, Glacier. So we went on the I can't even remember what it's called, but it's called the like Road to the Sun Road or something like that. To the Sun Road or something like that. And she got us tickets to go up through there to that. It closed the very next day. They were expecting it's middle of June now. They were expecting a foot of snow up there. So
wow.
We had to tuck tail and get out of there because I didn't want to be snowed in.
No.
In Montana, because Montana has a reputation of when it snows up there, it comes at like 15 feet at a time.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be snowed in up there. So we went up there, and she got us tickets, and it was great, perfect timing. Went down into southern Montana and went to a really cool place that I really didn't think that I was going to enjoy as much as I did, and that was Little Bighorn. Little Bighorn was Montana, North Dakota, that area. I think we were in North Dakota. No, I don't think we were in North Dakota yet. That was in Montana, I think. And Little Bighorn was cool. Custer's Last Stand was where, that was kind of the turning point for the American soldiers and the Indians and all that. And it so impressed us that we actually got another book, audio book, and started listening to it about what went on and what led up to that. And so that was pretty cool to, get a little bit more American history. We also got to go to a place, one of the saddest places, and I didn't even know these places existed, but the internment camps where the Americans put the Japanese during World War II. And we got to go to one of those. It's a national park now. And we got to visit that and saw where, and we read some books on that too and listened to some books on that as well, where when the World War II started, the U.S. government gathered up all the Japanese Americans that were American citizens, gathered them up, sent them to these camps, and that some of them were there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And treated them like horrible. And so really dark time in our nation's history, but it was very educational for me to learn about some of these places like that. So that was cool. So then we went up to Theodore Roosevelt National Park, which was like the Badlands, but it was in North Dakota instead of South Dakota.
Yeah.
Bison everywhere and all those little varmints that run in the hole and they get up and they're sitting on their back legs and, you take
prairie dogs.
Prairie dogs, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Did the North Dakota thing, went across Minnesota and stayed at Duluth. And that was
Duluth,
really
Minnesota.
We stayed at Duluth, a really neat place. Came upon Lake Superior. That's when we got to the Great Lakes region, and then came on over into the UP in Michigan, and then stayed down in Michigan for a few weeks. But altogether, it was about 7 weeks, and then we came home and did a little backpacking while we were up on Lake Superior again, like we did last year. And this was a hard trip to plan for.
Yeah, I bet.
It was a hard trip to pack for because we were packing for overlanding, camping, backpacking, and also
cruise shipping.
Cruise ship. where you have to dress nice sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also, a couple weeks at the family home there in Michigan. And so this was one of the times where we packed like a big bag of things that we wouldn't need all the time, or things that we would fish out of and just rotate. And then we got duffel bags from Ultralight Sacks, matching duffel bags, because that's kind of the way my wife rolls. You know, we
Yeah.
we got to have matching stuff.
Matchy matchy.
It's the same kind, just different color.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we would use those duffel bags, and it was so handy because we could put our toiletry kit, our clothes, and everything. And when we went up into the rooftop tent, we could take our bags. If we stayed in a little motel, we could take those bags. If we stayed wherever, we could just live out of the bags, and that was nice. We had to stop about once every 7 days to 10 days and find out. We would have to go to and find a washateria, as I
Yeah.
call them,
Washateria. Yeah.
laundromat or whatever. And you meet some interesting people in laundromats.
Yeah.
And but anyway, wash clothes, because we'd only take about 7 days worth of clothes, except for the cruise. That was a little bit extra, but 7 days worth of clothes, and then we would swap them out. And so it was a hard trip to pack for, especially in a smaller vehicle with two people. We didn't have the dog with us, but we had a lot of stuff that you had to work through and you had to work around.
Yeah.
Because we weren't using our backpack and stuff the whole time, so I tried to put it on the bottom. And then we don't buy a lot of souvenirs, but we came back from Alaska with a lot of food. Salmon, smoked salmon.
No.
We got smoked
No.
salmon at the Yang.
Surely not.
Yes, surely.
I
But it was a hard trip to pack for. But
bet.
we figured it out, and it worked really well. When we got back, we always do a debrief. And what do you think about how we packed? Did it work? What do we need to change? Where do you want to go next year?
Yeah.
What was your favorite place? And so that was really nice. And I really want to get my wife on here and do some recordings of a little bit more in depth of where we went, because she took really good notes about the places that we went, the places that we stopped. She has a much better memory than I do.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to get her on here, twist her arm, and have her talk about a few of those things from a women's perspective.
Sure. Yeah.
Because from a woman's perspective on traveling like this, it's right up her alley.
Right.
But there's a lot of females out there that are like, I don't know if I could do a trip like this, living in the car for 7 weeks and figuring out where to go. If you do travel like this, fall in love with little hole in the wall motels, because they're everywhere.
You touched on something a while ago in terms of planning. I was trying to remember how long it's been since I've gone on a trip where I had reservations to go and stay somewhere.
Yeah.
So like, since we started, our overland build and traveling and exploring, camping this way, we used to always, you block out the time, and then you would make your reservations at a hotel or wherever you're going to stay,
or like
campground,
a regular
RV,
campground.
RV, yeah.
RV park. Yeah.
And that's not even something I really think about anymore. It's more about what I take with me, the clothes and the food. You plan that, but
yeah,
you just take off.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things that are hard.
Yeah.
If you have a rooftop tent, you can't stealth camp. So it's really hard to camp like in a Walmart parking lot where Sprinter vans can do. We saw a lot of Sprinter vans that had like stuff in the windows. You knew they were asleep in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to stealth camp, something like that. Because as soon as you pop up the tent, people know what you were doing.
Yeah.
And there's no camping signs on a lot of these places. Most of them are right beside the road. And another thing that's really hard is when you get into the recreation.gov sites, you can drive around, and we did this several times. We drove around and found one we wanted, and there was nothing on the sign that says it was reserved. But when you get there, there's no cell service. And so in order to book the site, you have to drive around till you have self-service and then book it and then drive back before somebody else gets it.
Yeah.
And so that's hard. That's hard. And if we had one of the
Starlink or something.
Starlinks, it would be fine. We would be able to do it. I didn't have my cell phone booster on this vehicle, got it on the other one, but you still have to have some kind of cell phone service to be able to reserve some of this stuff. So that made it hard.
Yeah.
But fall in love with the hole in the wall motels, because I loved it when we were able to back right up to the door that we were staying in. I always take an extension cord so I can charge my power station, run my fridge, and run it through the door and charge everything overnight. So that made it nice. But anyway, such a good trip. And it's good to be back. It's hard to come back to a place where you have to work and it's hot. And we came back a couple weeks before we wanted to, but just to acclimate, and get back to whatever. But I'm one of those guys. I like structure. I like having a schedule and stuff like that. Sometimes, and then 2 weeks in now, I'm ready to be done with it. I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
But anyway, great trip. We got a lot more coming on that, and a lot more helpful hints and tips and tricks on that. But anyway, we got some things coming up. We hope to see you at Overland of America is coming up in September. Rendezvous is coming up in.
It's 2 weeks.
Is it 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea it was that soon.
Yeah.
Rendezvous is coming up in October, and so we really hope to see you there. We will be at both of those events, and really be excited, because when those events hit, the good weather is around the corner. It won't be any false
fall. No false fall. Yeah.
We won't false falls. We won't real fall.
No, we won't real falls.
That means it's camping time. So anyway, thank y'all for joining us. We really appreciate it. It was good to just get back and just visit with you, just like old times.
Yeah.
Really hit a milestone over the summer. I've been looking for this for a long time. We hit over 100,000 downloads on the Overland podcast. So that was something that I never thought. For over 100,000 downloads since I started this thing 5 years ago, or whenever it was. I just did it to have a way to express my feelings and get some stuff out there and just talk. And then you joined me, a year and a half later, and we've been together ever since. And it's been a really cool road, and love traveling that road with you.
Yes, sir.
We've got some topics we want to talk about, maybe a few people that we want to have on here, but just keeping it simple and just sharing things about traveling overland. And so I enjoy it, and
overlanded.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank everybody for being on here with us. We appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful week, and hope to
see you in a couple of weeks.
Hope to see you in a couple of weeks. Anyway, until then, look out for number 1. Don't step in number 2. On behalf of Tony and myself,
have a good